Previously on random chat number 346, that was previously uploaded on the 4th of September 2024. I made a statement in that video as such. And obviously, when you think about it, it's gonna cost way more than the $200 million. So in a way, the reason why earlier I said it may be nearing $300 million or maybe above, who knows? But it's really. Little did I know that the speculative thought that at that time was on the right track and it cost way more than that. Hello there, how's Shutdown? Ame Gakita this. So yes, as you guys can see on the video that I previously did at that time, was that my speculative thought was, they reported that it cost $200 million. My speculative and understanding was that it was just only based on the developing cost, but it is very likely that it may be cost way more than the 200 million. It may be costing nearing $300 million or even more, based on marketing as well as many other stuff, including like outsourcing and what's not. But to think that the outcome was it cost a total of freaking $400 million. So basically, my speculative thought have became some sort of fact, if reportedly correct. And it's actually even funnier that at the time, I'm not a game developer. I have studied game developing. I had understanding from game company when I used to visit some Japanese game company and understanding from their point of view. So obviously when they put up a price, normally it can be more, it can be less. It's just that it is how it works. But to think that it actually, at that time, I was like, when they put up as 200 million, my understanding was that it may be up to 300 million. I wasn't expecting it to be doubling up the price that they actually reported. So turned out that based on the rumor or as reported, so you have to understand that this still technically can be taken with a huge pinch of salt and have to throw at the screen or at the reported case, that it cost $400 million to develop because there is actually evidence to indicate that there was outsourcing of the stuff to be done by other game company, not just by Firewatch Studio themselves, but also there is also many other stuff that is not included. So at the end of the day, while Mesh JT-san, or JT-san as I would definitely say as for sure, and as well as Rev-san, they actually did a simple report on their video indicating about how the Concord cost Sony nearing $500 million. The only issue that I actually did talk about it, that maybe they may end up trying to gain back the amount they lost by earning through for another place, which is, as I actually speculated at the time, was PlayStation 5. So that kind of like get me wondering, like, is the price of PlayStation 5 cost way more at around $700? Is it because to cover up the base cost they lost from the game concourse? And almost so there are actually now more and more people giving the speculation that maybe Sony is trying to earn back the loss by selling the PS5 at a higher cost, while trying to hide it as if it's way better than the normal PS5. There is a PS5 Pro for a reason along the line, and one of the reasons why I kind of call it that it seems to be a BS on the Sony side. But it's actually even more funnier than now that the price has been so-called put up as a rumor reported case, but it actually do kind of like cover what I put up as a speculative thought, because I don't believe it only cost $200 million. Because when you think about it, right, Mesh JT-san did up a video, like he actually did another video that is not just the Concord cost nearly $500 million, but actually he did another video called that, sorry, not Rev video, but the end credit is unintentionally hypercritical or crazy. So apparently there was a total of nearing like 30 to 40 minutes of credit roll, and in a way the video that had indicated that the so-called giving credit to those who have worked in the game Concord have way more than anyone would thought. Like normally a credit would last around 3 to 6 minutes in a way, and even if there is a lot of people who work on it, obviously I mean like give and take would not go way beyond 10 minutes. But if it can go up to 30 minutes, it means that the number of people who work in this game is way more than we expected, which is the reason why it may lead to the reported case about the game may cost up to 400 million to develop to be holding a lot of weight. The reason for that is that if they actually as I actually suspected at the time, that if they outsource the material to do like the programming, they get another company to do it, or modeling, they get another person to do it, another game company to do it for them, that's gonna cost a lot of money. Which is the reason why a lot of game companies prefer to get their own stuff. If they can get an art director, if they can get a programmer or whatsoever to do their job for them, they can just pay the person's salary instead of paying a company for more. So it's actually way better in the long run for the company to get their own staff to do the work instead of outsourcing every single thing. But at this point of time, considering that Concord seems to be, as I suspected, there seems to be outsourcing to a lot of game company or a lot of game studio or whatever outsource they have, it seems that the cost of 400 million is holding way too much weight to the point that it seems to be trustable or believable, whichever you want to call it. So in a way, the two videos as JT-san actually did really kind of like hold quite a lot of weight. Like if they can have so many people being credited for such a game, then obviously 400 million is gonna be holding so much true. It can also be considered a huge flop, as I believe Rev-san actually said in his video, a huge flop on Sony's side. I even call it that it's gonna be a huge flop as in the account book of Sony. So when you think about it, right, it's really kind of like, not that I'm trying to say that in my video like, hey, I told you so, my speculative is always right along the line. It's kind of like my speculator is always based on understanding of the market, understanding of many situations, based on information I research, all these things, which is the reason why if I can have that line of thought, obviously it may hold some truth to it. It's just that whether will it be true or not is based on later news. I wasn't kind of like expecting like just around 2 weeks or so, then like I actually did that video on 4th of September at that time with the idea that hey, maybe it may be cost more than $200 million, but I wasn't expecting it. Like at that time I was seriously like thinking like, hey, maybe nearing $300 million if like and whatsoever stuff cost to it. But to cost it at freaking $400 million, I will definitely be, if I'm the higher up in Sony, especially on the Japan side, not the Western side, I'll be very livid. Like the amount of money lost over trying to make the game a success or whatsoever. And I will actually kind of tell you guys that you have to understand from all three people, including Rev Say, is that they're trying to brand the game as the so-called the next Star Wars like potential and the future of PlayStation, when the game at the time became, as what I actually say, a game that one assisted. They freaking refunded the game to many people, making sure that they don't like so-called lose the reputation, lose the impression of Sony have on everyone. But actually more so is they trying to so-called save face, which is the word I used to say in that specific video. If you guys don't believe me, go and check out that video, link in the description below, as well as to Rev-san, Hill-san, and JT-san video as well. The only funny thing is that from what I understand of this whole audio, I'm not going to just say that, hey, Sony, maybe just keep the studio out whatsoever along that. It's that sometimes it's not about like adding DI to game or trying to whatsoever. It's like if the game take many years to develop and take a lot of money and resources to do the game, obviously I can understand why they want the game to succeed, that why they will brag about the game, say that the game have the potential to be the future of Sony. I mean, like when you think about it, right, if it seems successful, then I think there is a potential for it. But when the thing is, right, when your staff or the developer go around having like attacking gamer, trying to downplay a lot of people point of view, trying to so-called force their ideology, propaganda, agenda, or everything into the game, obviously the game is gonna fail. It doesn't matter whether the game is created by Sony, is it under the Sony name, or even to the point of that it costs a lot of resources and outsource to get the game complete. It's more towards that the core reasoning of the game is gonna fail. I mean, like, if I'm creating Concord, right? If they really want it to be successful, they can actually just give the option to customize the character. It's not about like the character need to look fat or whatsoever. If they want to have a character to be customized to look fat, then obviously you need to have a balance. You have to have the option to make your character look skinny, or you want to make your character look handsome, pretty, whatsoever. At least give that option to the gamers. At least the game still got a chance to succeed. At least that's what I believe in. Which is the reason why I say that if they can use up to nearing $500 million to make such a game, obviously they should have the money and the resources to create that function in the game. The moment they start giving a lot of money to other people, to the developer, to the consultation firm, which I believe at this point of time is so damn obvious, the Sweet Baby Inc., then obviously the game is gonna fail, because it's just basically that they are taking the money for granted and not working with the right set of mind on the game. And even more so that there are now people who work on Concord, the game itself, had talked about how the develop culture in that game is just totally toxic possibility, instead of having negative feedback or trying to ensure the game have better improvement or criticism thinking. So at the end of the day, it just proved to show that the game really was going to fail from the get-go, and how Sony just kind of like got dragged into it from the first place, and it's gonna be the worst nightmare on Sony's side. Sure, a lot of people will be saying that Sony can technically recover on it by selling PS5 at a higher price, or who knows, maybe PS6 in near future may come out even at costing $1,000 per game per console along the line. I mean, like, hell, that is a high possibility at this point of time. The only thing is, right, it's really kind of like stupid about how they trying to like hide the fact, how they trying to indicate that it doesn't cost much, when rumors and true and what's not, it's gonna come out somehow, some way, somewhat. And even more so that when I was having like I mentioned earlier, when I was having the kind of like the speculative thought, a lot of my understanding on, based on what I know of gaming, based on what I have my experience from learning from our gaming development, and as well as having us from real game Japanese company, like I had actually been to some company to ask publisher, the producer, the publisher, and their all these things, and I understand that sometimes the reported amount, it can be it can cost way more, because there is a lot of other stuff to include. There is the outsource fee, there is the marketing fee, there is the champagne fee, there's like so many fee that is not reported. That's why often more than not, when they posted this amount, it can be way more. The reason why they have to report less or whatsoever is that it's often more than not due to another reason, maybe due to tax reason, maybe due to having to kind of like doing budget along the line. So often more than not, the amount posted or so-called being told out may not hold as true as we all thought. Which is the reason why at the time I give the idea that it may cost up to maybe more than $3 million or nearing to it. But I was not expecting it that it's to be that I was on the right track, but just not the right amount. It was more. I kind of like go with the word "who knows." Turned out that it wasn't a "who knows," it was like, "oh no." But hey, this is at the end of the day just all speculative thought, because the thing is, right, if they can have a freaking credit that can roll for 30+ minutes, it proves that they did outsource a lot of things to a lot of people, to a lot of company, or maybe they got a lot of people dragged in doing this game along the line, and everyone has to be created. And interestingly, as JT-san actually mentioned, some of the problematic developers are also included in that, including those that attack the gamers. So yeah, maybe at this point of time, I should be very, very careful with all my speculative thought, but hey, that's at the end of the day still my speculative thought, just a random chat. So if you have your own thought, your own view, or your own thing, or whether you believe or disagree or agree with what I say, just write in the comment below, we can discuss it further. But if you do find my video good and or unbelievable, just press the like button, it does help. But even I myself actually kind of shocked that when I last time give that take at that time, yes, it did cross my mind that it can cost more than that, but I was like 2 weeks later, I was totally not expecting this, alright? Like, I'm actually laughing when I learned about it. I actually got a huge shock that amount was reportedly cost, based on rumor, was more than what I expected. But again, we still have to take everything with a huge pinch of salt and try to sort at the screen if we need to. But if not, I mean, like, if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or totally random. But the one thing that is totally not random is I hope you guys have a nice day or night. Bye.